recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to 4ZZZ. Welcome to Zed Games here on 4ZZZ, actually.
Yeah, hi, welcome.
I'm Maylee.
I'm Caroline.
And we're just so happy to be here with you.
I'm thrilled. I am vibrating out of my pants.
So, what have you been playing lately?
Hades 2.
Yeah. I'd heard about this.
Access, and I just beat Kronos this morning.
I haven't played it, so I'm not. Kronos, is he the first one, the second one?
He's the big bad. He's
the main.
He's yeah.
He's like
point,
the Hades.
The tagline is it's something to do with killing time. It's like you cannot kill time. Kronos is the Titan. He's messed things up, and you have to go kill him.
That's a word I probably shouldn't say on radio.
Yes.
He's a bad man. Very bad man.
He is a bad man, yes.
Well, I'm sure we'll have some time to talk about Hades 2 later on in the show.
Excellent. I have many things to say about it.
I think we should get into some news.
News!
Let's do it.
How delightful!
This week, in gaming news. No longer console wars, but console turmoil with Xbox and PlayStation going head-to-head in who can create the most controversy this week. In Xbox news, last week Microsoft announced the studio closures of Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Studios, Arcane Austin and Roundhouse Studios, and according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, it's not the end. Staff under the Xbox umbrella have been told that more cuts are on the way and voluntary buyout offers have been reportedly sent to other ZeniMax Media staff. While addressing the closures, Xbox President Sarah Bond claimed that this was in response to a flat industry over the last year. However, leaked audio and emails from within Xbox claims the company is spread too thin and needs to double down on high-impact titles, despite posting $15.6 billion in revenue so far in this financial year. Hi-Fi Rush from Tango Gameworks has been at the centre of the controversy surrounding the Xbox closures. When Xbox announced the closure of Tango Gameworks, the studio was not only working on a pitch for the sequel to Hi-Fi Rush, it was also seeking to hire new staff. The team was reportedly blindsided by the announcement, with creative director John Jonas telling Eurogamer last month, after they won a BAFTA, that the team was in a good situation and was able to take risks and own their creative freedom. In the town hall at Xbox the day after the fateful announcement, head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty told staff that they needed smaller games that give us prestige and awards. Cinematic editor of NARM-based Summerfall Studios, Ethan Taylor, weighed in on Twitter with, "The $375 million Microsoft payout to known dog scum Body Kotick could pay for the estimated salaries of both Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks employees combined for the next 17 and a half years." On the other side, PlayStation this week tried its hardest to imitate the Titanic in the fallout of the announcement last week that Helldivers 2 was to require a PlayStation Network or PSN account. To give a scope to the issue, Sony Interactive Entertainment, or SIE, are facing, Helldivers 2 is SIE's golden egg, with a boom in players that hasn't been seen since the pandemic. A choice to enforce the PSN account linking after release led to the review bombing in Steam, and the resultant refunds through Steam, leading to Steam delisting the game from all countries where creating a PSN account is unavailable. Sony eventually capitulated and stated that the link would not be moving forward. However, it doesn't end there. SIE has continued to support the removal and delisting of Helldivers 2 from countries without PSN coverage, much to the surprise of the team behind Helldivers. In fact, Steam users who have pre-purchased upcoming PC releases of Ghost of Tsushima, Director's Cut, and who live in those same countries are receiving auto refunds. The refund comes with the attached message, "You are receiving a refund for a game you pre-purchased, Ghost of Tsushima." The publisher of this game is now requiring a secondary account to play portions of this game, and the account cannot be created from your country. So what's the future at Sony? Looks like the company wants to see a future in live service titles, after seeing a decline in PS5 console sales. They plan on doing this with an expansion in the content of Destiny 2, the Final Shape DLC coming in June, and the upcoming release of Concord. This is even after the report that devs are concerned about the sustainability of live service titles. In the time being, SAE has finally announced the replacement of Jim Ryan, the previous CEO who stepped down mid-September 2023. This will require some changes, as the position will be replaced with a multi-pronged leadership structure, with PlayStation Studios CEO moving to SAE's new studio business group, taking charge of first-party operations, and Hideaki Nishino being promoted from the SVP of Platform Experience Group to the new CEO of SAE's Platform Business Group. Nishino will oversee third-party relations and internal tech development. Only time will tell if this leads to any changes in the future at SAE and PlayStation. In other news, here's some quick gaming bites. Warner seems to be in the process of transferring the ownership of Adult Swim games back to the developers. After Warner announced their inability to return titles to devs because of logistical and resource complaints, the dev of Small Radio's Big Televisions and the maker of Duck Game have both received notice that the titles will be returning to them. And now, most titles announced in the Adult Swim closure have returned to Steam. If you thought the new characters in the new DLC for Stellaris were AI, you were right. Not only is the text AI-driven, but so are the voices. However, bucking the trend, the actors for the two characters are receiving royalties for using their voice prints. In probably unsurprising news, EA is again floating the idea of putting targeted advertisements into full-price AAA games. It seems that local game devs in Vietnam complained about Steam's vast portfolio made them unable to compete in the local market, and Vietnam's authorities followed through, with all Vietnamese IPs blocking all access to Steam's website and launcher. Cyberpunk 2077 has hit a 95% positive review rating on Steam after its dismal and review-bombed release. And lastly, have you signed the petition for game ownership yet? It closes May 20. Just search petition EN6080 or follow the links in our socials. And now for some upcoming games. Thursday, May 16, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is coming to PC and multiplayer crossplay. If you enjoyed it in 1995 or want to play something inspired by Doom and Quake, then PO'd Definitive Edition is coming to your mainstays. Or get Psychic in the sequel to 2064 Read-Only Memories, with Read-Only Memories Neurodiver coming to PC, Switch and next-gen consoles. Friday, May 17 brings us the next chapter in Morbid 7 Acolytes, Morbid The Lords of Ire, or if you're craving something different, try My Little Pony, a Zephyr Highlights mystery, both coming to PCs and consoles. Tuesday, May 21st brings us the award-winning Paper Trail, which is releasing on all your faves. The new Ubisoft free-to-play shooter, X-Defiant, is coming to PC and next-gen consoles, and according to fans, the under-advertised Senna Saga, Hellblade 2, is coming to PC, Xbox X and S. And that's all this week in gaming news.
You just got newsed by Toby.
Wow. Thanks, Toby.
Thank you.
For doing news.
For newsing us.
For newsing us. Do you have opinions on the news?
I have a lot of opinions, some
Yes.
of which I can share, and some I cannot share on the public forum of radio.
Yes. Does this involve Bobby Kotick in any way?
It
the ones you
definitely
cannot
does.
share? Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah, same.
does.
Big same. AI in video games.
Yes, something that caught my eye was the gaming bite about the DLC for Stellaris, the voices being AI, and the fact that that's bothersome. I
Yes.
don't like that.
Yes, it's immediately icky to me.
But it's so... I don't know how to feel about the fact that they are paying royalties.
Yeah, it's good, but I don't like the fact that they've used AI in the first place.
Yeah.
Just hire the people again. Did they get... It's like, how much do they get paid in royalties for their voice compared to how much they would have gotten if they had been hired?
Are the people submitting their voices?
Yeah. Did they submit them or were they, like, scraped?
Well, I feel like they had to submit them because they're getting paid. Like, is there some service out there where you can submit your voice?
I'm not sure about that, but I know that it's possible with enough data to have your
Yeah.
voice scraped. I
feel
hate
like
that
if
is
they
the word.
went to the efforts to steal a voice, then they wouldn't have paid them.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it, to be honest.
It seems
But
like
I just... the big...
better, but a better pile of poop. is
Yes.
Still a pile of poop.
Yes. Yeah,
Still
it's
very
like,
conflicted.
wow, there's some glitter in this turd. It's better
a
than...
glittery turd.
It's better than just a raw turd, but it's still a turd.
Well, I don't know. I'd rather have my glitter separate to the turd, so then I'd want... I'm getting too caught up on the glitter and the turd.
We've been caught up in the turd.
Speaking of a glittery turd, 95% for Cyberpunk 2077. Good for it.
They've certainly turned that around.
Got that
from
No
the,
Man's Sky effect going on.
Yeah. I mean, I've played neither of those games, so I can't exactly speak to it. But
I have
good
played
for them.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Nice. Did you play it when it was still a turd or when they
I-
polished the turd?
I did, actually. I played it early on, and I've played it more recently, and it definitely has improved. But I was lucky enough to not have any of those big, major technical issues that a lot of people saw. But it definitely has improved a lot.
Okay, that's good. Good for them.
Especially with the new DLC. Check out Cyberpunk. But honestly, more than Cyberpunk 2077, I want to recommend the Cyberpunk Red, which is the tabletop role-playing game. Shout out to Pens and Paper, boy.
Boy.
Pens and Paper.
Yeah, I've not played that either, so once again, I can't have an opinion.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but instead of firebolt, you got a gun.
Gun. I cast gun.
And blades in your arms.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of drugs.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I think...
I don't know.
I think let's go so I can tell you all about Cyberpunk. I'll just trap you for the next few
help.
seconds and everything
Help.
Cyberpunk.
Send help.
Don't worry, guys. We'll be experts when we come back.
Swag.
Welcome, believers, to the Church of Video Games. Today, we will be reading from the Book of Enoch, which, as we all know, is an ancient Hebrew text which is referenced throughout Judeo-Christian religions. Enoch stood in his cool jeans and striking armor of God when Lucifer approached. He had much drip, with his open blouse exposing his pale, hairless chest. Also, he was voiced by Jason Isaacs. One of my favorite things is mythology, and one of my favorite ways to explore mythology is when it's interpreted by a culture largely on the outside. Back in 2011 on Xbox 360 and PS3, we saw the release of El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, where it received a warm but mostly ignored reception. Well, now it's been remastered in HD, and what better place for me to review a HD remaster than the Nintendo Switch? At its very core, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, is a character action game based on the Book of Enoch. You play Enoch, who, while serving in heaven as the Scribe of Judgment, is sent to Earth in order to return 7 fallen angels and save humanity from the Great Flood. But this is made by Ignition Tokyo, and led by a former artist on Okami, so inject some anime and a love of inventive visual design. The game's main claim to fame was its aesthetic sensibilities. It's extremely stylized, and each level in the game adopts a new style, and the gameplay is constantly shifting from fixed perspective arenas to over-the-shoulder third-person combat to 2D platforming and even a little racing. The game likes to keep things very fresh, and because it's so heavily stylized, it looks as good today as it did 13 years ago. On the Switch, I don't come to expect much in the way of graphical options, but this is a rare example of a game that lets you choose between quality and performance on the handheld. I found very little visual compromise with the performance mode, but the solid 60 frames per second was very welcome. Combat is at the core of the game, and it's good? It's not bad. It's very stylish and has a good feeling of impact and satisfying movesets. There's a few complications like purifying your weapon, but as far as character action games go, it's not top tier. everything is solid, but if you're one for higher end play in your Devil May Cries or Ninja Gaidens, you'll find it doesn't have the meat. If you're interested in the game because of its crazy anime interpretation of Judeo-Christian religion and the art styles, which is what I enjoyed in the initial release and now in the re-release, it's been a pleasant return to El Shaddai for myself. It's a bit of a proto-Bayonetta, religious, audacious, stylish action, but with more twinks. The HD remake is also available on PC, which you'd think would be the best platform to experience the HDness, but alas it seems several issues exist that may affect you from even running the game, so it's worth checking that out before diving in, or at least keeping Steam's refund policy in mind. On Switch, however, I had a wonderful time and it ran flawlessly. You can grab it on either platform for about $30. I play the game with code provided by the publisher. Bless you all!
Hello. Welcome back to Zed Games.
Zed Games.
We're here on 4ZZZ. I'm Maylee.
Hi.
And you are?
I'm Caroline.
Caroline.
Yes.
And I want to have a little bit of a chat about Hades 2 because I'm a big fan of the first Hades, but I haven't actually picked up Hades 2 yet. And I'm in the studio tonight with someone who's a big fan of the first Hades and has definitely picked up Hades 2.
Oh, yes. I have already spent way too many hours in it.
Now, I have been burned by the allure, the call of early access games before.
Yes, correct.
And it scares me, but most things I'm hearing about this game are just, it's perfect in its current state.
I wouldn't say perfect.
Well, perfectly enjoyable.
Yeah, it's perfectly enjoyable. Yeah, I only bought into the early access because I had heard it was such a good experience the first time around for people who went with the early access. Basically, they build up a certain level of trust for me where I would not do this for any other game.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, Baldur's Gate 3 had early access, and I played Baldur's Gate 3 early access, and that didn't disappoint me. I think just a lot of studios don't really use it right.
Yes.
But yes, the original Hades did, and from what I'm hearing, this one is.
Yeah. It's still early days. I don't think they've updated it yet, but I have heard that sometime this month an update will be coming where they'll be balancing, I think, resource collection and the movement of... Oh, what's her name? Melanoy? Is it Melanoy?
I haven't played the game.
Listen, names do not stick in my head, and the pronunciation...
That lady.
Yes. Listen, she has little dots above her E in her name.
If they've played the game, you'd know. You guys know.
Well, I've played the game and I don't know. So.
Yeah, but they know who you're referring to.
Yes.
The original Hades was, I think, in early access for like 2 years or something, so it's probably still a long way out.
Yes.
I'm also a bit worried that if I played it and just loved it, which I will, then I'd get burnt out on it and not feel like playing it when it came out.
Well, I'm planning to get my burnout done pretty soon, so that there'll be a nice gap, and then when it comes out, or I'll just play a bunch, burnout, play a bunch more, burnout, and then eventually at some point they'll release it.
So what you're saying is I need to get started.
Yeah,
I've left it too late already.
I don't know. I think it's worth it, honestly. I mainly got into it because I'd heard about the early access development of the first one and how that seemed to be like a good experience for a bunch of people and really interesting seeing how it changed. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get me some of that.
And what's been the best part so far?
The fact that it's very similar to the first game. So
I guess if you didn't like the first game, it's not for you. But also if you didn't like the first game,
I don't know.
That's weird. That's weird to me.
Yeah, they've just taken the first game as like a base and then expanded on it. Like there's similar storyline-ish. You're running through rooms to get to a place.
And you're playing as a lady this time?
Yeah, you're playing as a lady.
Lady?
Yeah.
That gives it extra points.
Yeah, there's still the building up of relationships with other characters. but there's more ways to do that this time. You can go in a hot spring with them.
Oh.
Eventually,
Super giant.
you can go fishing with them. I have yet to build the fishing pier, but...
I hate fishing. I'm not going fishing with anyone. Is that
Well, you have to, I think.
to get them to love me or to finish the game?
Possibly both? I don't know, because I know Hades 1, the true ending was tied to the relationships
Yeah, that's fair.
that you built. So I think it's going to be similar in
I think
Hades
I
2.
actually got my friend, who was a bigger Hades fan than me, to just do a little fishing for me. I really hate fishing in video games. It ruins video games for
There's
me.
also a companion system now where you can have cute little critters as like your familiars. I have a cat right now.
Oh my god, they're pushing me away with the fishing, but then
She
they're
has
pulling
the
me in.
ability to fish just automatically.
Okay,
But only once per run.
No, that's good enough. That's good enough. I'll only bring her. She'll do all my fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? You have to craft tools to be able to collect resources now. So, like, you need a fishing rod for fishing, but you can only bring one tool per run, which is irksome to me.
If enough people don't like it, maybe they'll let us take two.
Because basically the only real option is to bring the pickaxe, because you need the stuff from the pickaxe the most.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I don't bring the pickaxe, I'm basically just throwing away all the possible resources I could get.
I feel like they'll either have to balance it so you need all resources more, or at least let you take two. So it can be pickaxe and the one you like.
Yeah.
Which won't be the fishing rod.
No. I mean, fishing, you just get some extra currency or resource that you can use as currency. There's so many more resources now. Because you know how in Hades it was you'd beat a boss with a weapon and you get like one of something?
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many more resources. You grow plants, you harvest minerals. There's at least 3 or 4 baseline currency things that you use for different things.
You really are selling.
There's, the upgrade. With Hades 1, you were upgrading the House of Hades because you were the prince. With this, it's more heavily leaning into like witchcraft because you're a witch.
Yes.
There's Hecate, there's a bunch of other witches. And so there's a cauldron and you're casting spells to unlock things. It's very cool. I like doing potions.
If I don't look at my bank account before I buy the game, then it's free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's future you's problem, and
That's
future
true.
you will pay the
hate her.
price.
I hate her because she's playing Hades 2 and I'm not. Well, I'm Maylee.
Hello, I'm Caroline.
We are here for Zed Games on 4ZZZ, and we're just dropping in to say a pretty quick goodbye because it's getting late in the hour.
Yeah, because they won't let me keep talking about Hades 2 for the entirety of the night.
Yeah, other people have things to talk about.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week for more Hades 2. Maybe. Oh, well, this isn't the last you've heard. At some point.
No, I will
Hades
return. I will talk about when it updates.
Yes. We got to add it to the news.
Yes.
The Hades 2 updates.
Yes.
All right, well, we will love you and leave you, dear listeners.
Well. Thank you for listening to our voices.
All right, I'm going to go before things get weirder. And to my dad, we are not going fishing this weekend. No fishing, ever. See you later.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app.
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.